To a new episode of Chicks That Drive. Except for this time around, we have David Fabi, and he is a, oh my god, so many things. But he's going to be a professional race car driver.
I like that. I like that. Gotta believe. Yeah.
Yes, and he is a world-renowned orthopedist, surgeon, robotics surgeon pioneer. So I'm so super excited to have him.
Very excited to collaborate here. So yeah, this is one of my passions, is racing. Unfortunately, I had to retire my car right now for the racetrack because I broke a rotor, but we were able to get you in another car. So tell us about your experience.
Oh my god.
First time on the racetrack.
I drove with a professional race car driver who is also the lead instructor here in Buttonwillow racetrack, and it was insane. He did spun out on purpose, 360, lots of sand, lots of fun, incredible. Talk about instincts.
Instinct, yeah. I mean, I think, right now, I work a lot on instinct, and I trust my instinct, but also there's got to be an alignment of like your heart, your soul, your mind to really get in tune with your instinct.
Yeah.
Because if you come from a bad mindset, your values aren't right, you're dealing with a lot of stuff in your head, that's where instinct can kind of prove you wrong. So once everything is kind of in harmony, I've learned to trust my instinct more and more, and it rarely fails me. Whereas before, when I was younger, that not entirely was the case. Right. My instinct would be incorrect sometimes. So yeah.
Wow.
But great question. Yeah.
You mentioned only briefly that, where you came from.
Yeah.
But you don't really talk about, like the whole story. And I wonder if you would care to share, because I feel like there's so much that people can learn from,
Wow, that's a great point. Thanks for pointing that out, because that's an important part of my story. And you're right. I don't really touch upon that, but that's
yeah, you
that's
just
huge.
mentioned something brief. I'm like, I was like, where? Like, tell me more.
Yeah, so, let's start from the beginning. It was like it was a dark, stormy night. No, I'm joking. So my parents are from the Philippines, and they migrated to the United States. My mom came in 1977. My dad came in 1978. So my brother was born in the Philippines, but my mom came through the Navy as a medical officer. So, just kind of like having that model to see that like they had the courage to leave their home country to try to find opportunity for themselves as well as their family in the United States. Different language, I thought that was like, that's pretty, for lack of a better word, that's pretty ballsy. Right. So for me, growing up, and I think going back subconsciously, it's like I gotta respect, and consciously, I gotta respect that. I gotta respect the risk that they took to provide me and my brother with better opportunities. So that's one. And my mom was a hard worker. My dad was blue collar. He worked 3 jobs at one time. So they set the model for hard work. Yeah. So that was kind of the blueprint that was shown to me. And so that's a hard work is something that's always been that I adopted, and they instilled that in me. Being Filipino, Asian, they always like had me focus on academics. They always wanted me to be a doctor. My mom was a doctor. So I'll be honest, initially I was pursuing that career for her, to make her happy. Because I had a lot of passions. I had a passion to be an NBA player because I grew up with Michael Jordan. So, of course, like Filipinos were not blessed with like super height. Obviously, that didn't pan out. That dream didn't pan out. I also wanted to be in the movie industry, but going the physician route, if you get in, you finish med school, it's a pretty safe route. I mean, you have a consistent, job security, and to make a good living. So that was kind of a safer route for me. Of course, it took a lot of hard work to get there. So that was kind of what the story was. But as I was getting older, through high school, college, I realized, this is where my strengths lie in terms of other professional careers. Being a lawyer wasn't in my heart. That didn't line up with me. As I was more about really helping people, helping people's health. Being like an accountant on Wall Street, that's not something that really spoke to me.
Yeah.
So I followed it, and then of course I questioned it along the way. I was young, and I'm like, this is super difficult, super challenging. I don't know if I want to do this, but everything important in life is hard work, for a reason. And that hard work pays off like so much. And then when I was in medical school, I saw my first hip replacement. And I knew I was home once I saw my first hip replacement. It was like love at first sight. So I'm like, thank God I found this. I'm going to roll with it. So it's come full circle. And now, that's what I do. I specialize in hip and knee replacements. So, that's kind of in a nutshell. I would say, to make a long story short, it's already kind of a long story, but there's more to it. I'm currently writing a motivational book, and there's going to be more of that story in there. The first thing that comes to mind is I believe in human potential. I think there's infinite potential within all of us. It's just how you harness that, how you tap into that, so that's something that I really like, testing human potential to see where it could go, to see with what I can do with it, and if I can bring that out of other people, I'm all for that. And I want to leave a legacy in terms of helping others leave their own legacy, and then on my gravestone, I was just on a podcast recently, I want my gravestone to say, here's a man who gave life and everyone else his all and his everything.
Oh, wow.
So that's what motivates me. That's what pushes me. And I know each day that goes by, as I get older, I realize, our time is limited here. And each day that goes by, I'm getting closer and closer to the end of my time on this world. And I want to make sure I maximize it. I don't want to, I want to get the most out of life. And I think getting the most out of life is to test limits, to help people, to contribute to people, and just to have experiences like this. I like that. I love challenges. I welcome that, because on the other end of that, if you're able to get through it, there's so much growth. And growth is happiness. So, and I've done research on you. You're just you're killing it. I love it. So you have that hot rogue thing. Is that how you pronounce it?
Hot rogue.
Okay, hot rogue. Yeah. So, no, you're grinding. You believe in that, and you came from Belarus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of same story as you.
That's courage. That's courage to come to a different country. So that's awesome. Bravo.
Courage,
Bravo.
but I don't know. Deep down, ever since I was 14, I knew that this is where my home is. I don't know. It was weird. And then it kind of happens. So, so kind of.
I'm gonna loosen up here a little bit. So yeah.
He is not. Are you?
Yeah. Just kind of maybe get
this
a little.
This is a real professional outfit.
Yeah. I'm not a professional racer right now.
Not
but
yet.
You know what? I was reading last night on the way here, about. That cliche, fake it till you make it, but what that does for me, that imprints in my mind that it has that vision, and I'm envisioning myself here with this gear on, that I'm in a pro race, so having that manifestation, and it goes beyond manifestation. You got to take action, and I'm taking action here to do it. I'm going to do it. You already said that I'm a professional racer. I love that. There's powered words, and you got to believe in it.
Yeah, and I'm doing also affirmations and meditations where you focus on the goal, and then you envision you already there.
Yeah.
And actually, it truly works. Of course, it's not like magic. You still have to put in the work.
Yeah.
But in your mind, our mind is so powerful.
Yeah.
It's we don't even know what we only using a fraction of it. So
it's infinite.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. The amount of neurons and cells that are in your brain, is it's infinite. I think, or or maybe the whole body. I don't know what the exact number is, but the amount of cells that we have in our brain or our body is more than the stars in the universe. You know, so like, of course, there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah, and I feel like everything starts like here.
Yeah, yeah. It all starts here, and it's also here. You know, and you got to connect the two.
Connect the two, and then put in the work.
Because if your heart's not connected in your mind, you know, that's not a good formula. So, yeah, you remind me of a quote with what you just said. I'm forgetting what it is. I'm a big quote guy. It'll come to me. So,
okay, better, because one of my questions would be like, what's your most favorite quote, or like something that you live by?
My most favorite quote. You're throwing a lot of good questions at me. Let me think here. Wow, there's a lot out there. There's one. Okay, I don't know if it's my favorite, but this is what I'm thinking about right now. There's Sun Tzu. You know, he wrote The Art of War, and I'll paraphrase it. You know, yeah, if it was my favorite quote, I should know word for word. But he talks about, you know, the general that prepares for battle ahead of time in his temple is the one who will win the war. You know, and I don't want to get all militant, but like, you know, that metaphor kind of translates.
It applies.
So yeah, you got to be prepared. It goes back to your manifestation, envisioning. So yeah, that was now I got the quote, because you talked about affirmations and envisioning it. You know, like I'm thinking of this social media post that I saw. It's like most successful people envisioned where they were 10 years ago or something like that.
Right, yeah.
I love that.
You know what? I've heard it somewhere too, and I don't know. Yeah, somebody famous talked about it.
Yeah.
I forgot who it was, but yeah.
Tony Robbins also says, like, this is another one of my favorite ones. He's like, we often underestimate what we can do in a year. Overestimate what we can do in a year, but we underestimate what we can do in 10 years.
That is so true.
It's true, because I look, for me, 10 years ago, I'm like, whoa. You know, but then sometimes I look back, I'm like, I didn't accomplish enough this year, you know, so, but it all adds up.
Because I think, like, I don't know if it has anything to do with like social media or where we are as a society, but I feel like a lot of times we focused on the short-term goals and short-term, what's the word?
Instant gratification.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, because with like social media, we want it right away. We want it right away. And that lends itself to frustration. You know, I get into that every now and then, but you know what? It's a step-by-step process. Yeah. You know, and you gotta trust it. As long as you're taking those small steps, making those small victories every day, you know, the collective, you're gonna get there. Yeah. You know, so it's gotta be action-oriented. You gotta be action-oriented. You know, there's no other way. You know, there's no shortcut to success.
No, and overnight success, I talk about it all the goddamn time. Like, there's no such thing as overnight success. And everybody who is successful, they know it, but then it's like this kind of assumption that, oh my God, like, and it's media too. It's media's fault, and, you know, everybody's listening to the media, but please stop calling people overnight successes.
And being comfortable is overrated. You know, you gotta be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Where is that from?
I forgot what it's from. Maybe Tony Robbins, I don't know. And I get it, you know, some people are okay with comfortable, and I'm not judging that. You know, if that works for them, then I'm all for that. I just know that's not me. You know, I used to be that person, but, you know, once I really tested those limits, you know, it's like, it's amazing. It's amazing. You know, if I make a mistake, that's fine. You know, even on here, you know, say like something tragic happens, you know, but I'm not gonna be entirely scared of that. You know, I'm not gonna let that paralyze me. Yeah. So good thing is, with these roll cages and the harness, it's
totally
very safe. Super
totally
safe. Yeah. Like fabulous, you know.
Like fabulous, Fabi, love it.
But, you know, I'll be honest, like, the last name by origin, it's probably the true pronunciation is Fabi. But I grew up in the Midwest, and we stretch our A's, so I grew up with Fabi. So,
Fabi as fabulous, amazing.
It's easier to remember that way, I think. Yeah. So,
guys, thank you for watching. I hope you guys had fun.
Thank you.
Tune in, check this guy out. Incredible talk.